Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Money Saving Exemptions webinar, an online learning event brought to you by your Orange County Property Appraiser, Rick Singh. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Roger Ross, Director of Customer Service, Deeds, Exemptions, and Tax Roll at the Property Appraiser's office. I'll be assisting in the presentation and serving as today's moderator. This webinar will be packed full of important information about OCPA services and ways you can save on property taxes. We hope everyone can see and hear our presentation. If you're having difficulties, you can hit the Reconnect button on the right side of the webinar screen. You can also go back to your confirmation email and rejoin the webinar by using the link that was provided. And if you scroll down below the webinar screen, you'll have the ability to ask questions for our presenters. Feel free to submit any questions you may have throughout the presentation, and we'll try to answer all of them at the end. There are many ways for you to connect with us if you have questions following the presentation. Please feel free to email or call our award-winning customer service department. And now to begin our presentation, please welcome our very special guest, your Orange County Property Appraiser, the Honorable Rick Singh.
Thank you, Roger. Thank you for that warm introduction, and please permit me to echo sentiments of Roger and our entire staff at the Orange County Property Appraiser's office in both thanking you for joining us and welcoming you to our OCPA webinar. These are unprecedented times. I hope that you are staying safe and protecting yourselves and your loved ones. Some of you may be working from home, working remotely for the past few weeks, and in an effort to stay connected to you and be of service to you, we thought it would be a great time to offer some distant learning in the form of a webinar from the Office of the Orange County Property Appraisers. In a moment, members of our amazing staff specializing in this area are going to dig into some of the available money-saving exemptions from the Orange County for Orange County property owners. But first, I'd like to tell you a little bit about Orange County Property Appraiser's office and some of our exciting recent accomplishments. OCPA made big and historical news with an announcement in late 2019. We reached a landmark milestone in returning a cumulative $1 billion in value to the tax roll through our compliance initiatives. We returned taxable revenue that can help to fund more schools, develop more infrastructure, and of course, build more parks in Orange County. As always, as I always say, if we all pay our fair share, we all pay less. We were also recognized on the world stage for a Gold Stevie Award by the American Business Association for our Customer Service Team of the Year. We wowed the judges in the area of customer service, of our customer service satisfaction matrix, labor efficiencies, and other citizen-centric programs. One of the programs that received high praises was our outreach program. And of course, as I always say, to serve a community, you must know a community. And we know our community by developing outreach programs and serving our communities. One of those communities of which we richly serve is our veterans community, and we host monthly veteran satellite offices to bring services to our local 63,000 veterans in Orange County. We also have meaningful outreach programs to educate and connect with taxpayers throughout the county in more than 100 community-based events. And of course, under the current circumstances right now, we've halted all of our community events, but we're very eager to get back into the community and interact and serve our taxpayers. In fact, with the threat of coronavirus, we began mid-March to deploy members of our staff to work from home. And within a week, we were able to have 100% of our staff working remotely. We were able to do so because of our commitment to technology, embracing technology over the past years. While other organizations and businesses had to quickly put plans in place and scramble, we transitioned very quickly and remotely. We are also serving our community remotely in many ways. Currently, our phone lines are open with multiple departments. Of course, if you need our service, simply call our office like you traditionally do, and we will be answering the phones. On our website, a new feature is, of course, a chat bot that's manned with a live person on the other end. It's entitled Ask Rick, and as you log on to the website, ocpafl.org, it'll pop up on your right hand corner. Ask Rick is available on our website during regular business hours. Our appraisers are working remotely using many forms of available data. They're embracing and implementing GIS technology using drone photography and standard appraisal practice to determine assessments. And we are also extended deadlines for many property related deliverables. I'm very glad that we've made the decision, as we did many years ago, to make technology a priority at the Orange County Property Appraiser's office. In addition to technology, we have an extremely talented IT application development and communications department. These teams have collaborated on a new option within our website. So it's a website within a website where we've gathered important information, up-to-date information on the coronavirus. We are leveraging GIS technology, AI skills in an effort to enhance our map making and storytelling capabilities to deliver to you a product. We have denoted locations on urgent care facilities, emergency rooms, and pharmacies throughout Orange County. So we urge you to check it out on our website, ocpafl.org. Quite simply, residents can easily see how close they are to medical assistance should the need arise. So I encourage you again to visit our website, and you may even want to bookmark it. The information we gather from the county, from the state, from the nation, and even globally, we get this information and we put it on this website for your consumption. So please feel free to use it. During this time of working remotely, one of the ways we keep in touch with our constituents is through our robust social media efforts and presence. Thank you for engaging with us across the popular platform. Our office can share key information with more than 10,000 followers instantly on social media. So we ask you to join us on social media. And if you're joining us already, we thank you in advance for collaborating and joining with us on social media. One more thing, we have an app. Our agency has launched an OCPA app in 2019 to have taxpayers stay up to date on signature events and agency resources. This OCPA app is free. It's available on all smart devices. You can download it. Just hold your phone up to the screen, and I'll wait for a second for those of you that want to do it. So if you have a smartphone, you can hold the phone up to this QR code, and you can acquire our app very instantaneously. And now, without further ado, it gives me great pride and privilege to turn you back over to our staff, back over to Roger, and he's going to take the presentation and lead us through this presentation. Thank you for joining us so far.
Thank you, Mr. Singh. Some great information for all our viewers today. Before we talk about some money-saving opportunities, I want to take a brief moment to share with you some important information related to the role of the property appraiser, some Orange County fun facts, and a quick overview of Florida's property tax system. So what is the role of the property appraiser's office? The property appraiser is responsible for identifying all property, both real and tangible personal, for tax purposes. The property appraiser must be fair and equitable when valuing all property and applying all exemptions, including homestead, the most popular, for all eligible property owners. Why is Orange County, Florida so unique? Well, Orange County is the only county in the entire world where the property appraiser must value 7 major theme parks, 4 water parks, 16,000 timeshares, 90,000 hotel rooms, over 53,000 condos, and almost 140,000 apartment units every single year. 2019 was a record year for growth for all the municipalities in Orange County, led by Oakland with an increase of 18.5% over prior year, followed closely by Ocoee and Winter Garden. The city of Orlando hit record growth with a market value of $56.8 billion. Residential value has seen an incredible increase of 68% in value since 2012, hitting $94.9 billion in 2019. By the end of 2019, the average sale price of a single-family home in Orange County reached $285,000. A key responsibility of the Orange County Property Appraiser's Office is award-winning customer service. The average lobby wait time in our office is 1.5 minutes, and average hold time on the phone is only 39 seconds. And that customer service is delivered with excellence. The Orange County Property Appraiser's Office holds a customer satisfaction rating of 99.8%. Now let's talk briefly about Florida's property tax system. There are 7 basic steps to that system: property valuation, property tax rates, annual truth in millage or trim, the appeals process, billing and payment, collection and distribution, and funding public educational and local services. January 1st is the date of assessment each year. The nature of a property on that date will determine its appraised value for that tax year, whether it is improved with a building or vacant. Each year, over 460,000 real property and 65,000 tangible personal property accounts must be appraised. By June 1st of each year, the property appraiser sends its estimate of taxable value to every taxing authority, assisting them with their budget planning process. It is important to remember the property appraiser does not establish tax rates, taxes, or special assessments, only appraised value. In mid-August, after the proposed millage rates have been received, the property appraiser mails the notice of proposed property taxes to all property owners in Orange County. This notice contains taxable value as determined by the property appraiser and proposed rates and taxes as determined by each taxing authority. After speaking with one of our appraisers, you feel your assessment may still be incorrect, you can file an appeal with the Value Adjustment Board at the Orange County Comptroller. By November 1st, the tax collector will mail tax bills to over 500,000 real estate parcels and tangible personal property accounts in Orange County. The tax collector will then collect all ad valorem and non-ad valorem taxes due. And remember, ad valorem taxes are related to value. Non-ad valorem taxes are such things as garbage, street lighting, and stormwater. And finally, once taxes are received by the tax collector, they distribute those taxes to taxing authorities to fund their annual budgets. Those authorities include public schools, county and municipalities, sheriff and fire services, libraries, water management districts, and municipal services taxing districts. I hope you all enjoyed learning more about Orange County, the property appraiser's role, and our property tax system. And now for the moment you've been waiting for, our money-saving exemptions presentation. Please welcome Manager of Tax Roll Exemptions, Deeds and Research, Mark Webster.
Thank you, Roger, and thank you, Mr. Singh, for allowing me to present today. Hello and good day, everyone. My name is Mark Webster. I'm the manager of the Tax Roll, Exemptions, and Deeds and Research departments at the Office of Rick Singh, your Orange County Property Appraiser. Let's transition into the property-based tax exemptions you may be eligible for and how they could save you money on your property taxes. Let's begin with the most basic property-based tax exemption, the homestead. Applying for this exemption should be one of the first things you do after the purchase of your home. Doing this could potentially save you thousands of dollars over the lifetime of your home. The homestead exemption saves you money by reducing the taxable value of your primary residence by up to $50,000. That translates to approximately $500 to $750 in savings each year. Coupled with the Homestead Exemption is the Save Our Homes cap law. The Homestead Exemption was designed for longevity. Typically, the longer you live in your property, the more tax savings you accumulate year after year. Market values have increased rapidly over the past several years. The Save Our Homes cap law helps protect homesteaded properties from these rapid increases. As market values increase 5%, 8%, or even 12% each year due to market activity, the assessed value of the home is capped at a maximum increase of 3% each year, or whatever the CPI happens to be. For context, the CPI, or the Consumer Price Index for 2020, is 2.3%. The Save Our Homes cap is the true value of having the homestead. Again, the longer you live in your property, typically, the more tax savings you accumulate, which can equal up to tens of thousands of dollars over a lifetime. Applicants for the Homestead Exemption must be Florida residents, and they must own and occupy their property as their primary residence as of January 1st. Property tax exemptions are not automatically applied. You have to apply for them. If you move out of your primary residence after January 1st, the exemption will continue for the remainder of the year on the property where the exemption was initially filed. You must file a new exemption application when you move to a new primary residence. The deadline for all property-based tax exemptions is March 1st. Applications can be filed online or by mail. Normally, applicants can also apply in person at our main office in downtown Orlando or at any of our many seasonal satellite offices when we resume those later this year. Property-based tax exemptions require that applicants be U.S. citizens and Florida residents who have established primary residency. However, there are instances when non-U.S. citizens may be eligible. Residents who have received a valid permanent resident card, individuals who have legal or natural dependents, or those who have received approved political asylum status may be eligible. Individuals who have obtained work authorizations or any type of visa, such as an investment visa, are not eligible to receive a property-based tax exemption. The next property-based tax exemption we will discuss is the Limited Income Senior Exemption. This exemption is similar to the homestead in that it may save households an additional $500 to $750 annually, except that this is reserved for individuals over the age of 65 as of January 1st. They must be a permanent Florida resident and must have a homestead exemption on the property. The Limited Income Senior Exemption requires a total household adjusted gross income that does not exceed the annual limit set by the Florida Department of Revenue. Now, let's move on to the Limited Income Senior Plus Exemption. This exemption also has an income limitation. However, the property must be the applicant's primary residence for 25 years consecutively. Also, the market value of the property must be valued less than $250,000. Once approved, this exemption completely exempts the unincorporated Orange County tax portion of a property tax bill. Let me add this. Many times people assume they make too much to qualify, and they choose not to apply for the senior exemptions. I recommend they apply, especially if they are unsure. Our office will review the income documentation and determine if they are truly eligible or not. Next on our list is the widower exemption. This exemption reduces the assessed value of a property by $500, which translates to $8 to $10 in tax savings. Now, this may not seem like much, but it does add up over time. Also, you can combine exemptions based on your eligibility. This exemption does not require an applicant to have a homestead exemption, only that they own their property and be a Florida resident. If the applicant is widowed as of January 1st of the current year and is not divorced or has not remarried and provides a copy of their spouse's death certificate, they would be eligible for this exemption. Individuals living with disabilities may apply for an additional exemption. Like the widower exemption, it provides tax savings of up to $8 to $10 annually, and it does not require a homestead exemption. Only that the applicant owns the property and is a Florida resident, and that they are disabled as of January 1st of the current year. So let's review. We've talked about the homestead exemption, which saves people on average $500 to $750 annually on their property taxes. They also benefit from the Save Our Homes cap that limits increases to the assessed value of a property to a maximum of 3% each year, saving an additional tens of thousands of dollars over a lifetime. We've discussed the Limited Income Senior and the Limited Income Senior Plus exemptions, both providing additional tax savings to individuals over the age of 65 and with income and property value limits. We also just mentioned the widower, and disability exemptions, each saving up to an additional $8 to $10 annually. Now we've arrived at our disabled military exemptions. These exemptions are available to veterans who were injured while serving. We'll talk about the two main types of disabled veteran exemptions. First, the $5,000 service-connected disability exemption, which can save up to $80 annually. And second, the $100 total and permanent disability exemption, which exempts all real estate property taxes except for service charges such as garbage and street lighting. Individuals who are the unremarried surviving spouse of a deceased veteran may qualify for the service-connected surviving spouse disability. It provides a $5,000 reduction in the assessed value of the property with savings up to $80 annually. It requires that the deceased veteran be a Florida resident at the time of death as of January 1st and a letter from the Veterans Administration along with a copy of the death certificate. We now move on to portability. Portability is the process of porting or transferring any accumulated Save Our Homes value from one Florida homesteaded property to another Florida homesteaded property. Individuals can transfer up to $500,000 of accumulated Save Our Homes value within 2 years or 2 January 1sts of selling or abandoning an existing or prior homestead. This can translate to tens of thousands of dollars depending on the accumulated savings. So for example, let's say a homeowner moved out of their property last year on February 11th, 2019. They must own and occupy their new property by January 1st, 2021, and make application for homestead by March 1st, 2021. If they take ownership of the property on January 2nd, 2021 or after, they would be unable to transfer any of their accumulated Save Our Home savings, and it will be lost. Portability is not an automatic process. You must apply for it. A Form DR-501T, Transfer Homestead Assessment Difference, is required, and the application is available on our website, ocpafl.org. We've covered a lot of information today, and as you can see, there are numerous property-based tax exemptions available. We hope you have found this information useful to you. Now I'll turn it back over to Roger.
Thank you for that great presentation, Mark. I'm sure our viewers learned a lot about the money-saving property-based exemptions that are available to them. So this is the time we'd like to read some of your questions and respond to them live right here in our webinar. First question is for you, Mark. And the question is, do I have to reapply for homestead exemption every year?
That's a good question, and thank you. So once you apply for a property-based tax exemption, that exemption will renew automatically year after year, unless you sell the property to someone else if the ownership changes, or you change the mailing address on your property. You must notify the property appraiser's office of any mailing address change. Otherwise, if none of those scenarios have occurred, the exemptions will continue on the property year after year.
Great. Here's another one for you, Mark. This viewer asked the question, I'm moving from another state into Orange County. Can I transfer my property-based exemption from that state to Orange County?
Oh, that's a good one too. We get that one a lot. Several states in this country provide their own property-based tax exemptions. Unfortunately, they are not transferable to Florida. If you had a homestead in another state, you cannot bring it to Florida. But if you had a homestead in another county in Florida, you can transfer that homestead savings to another Florida property when you apply for homestead and portability within two years, 2 January 1st.
Great. Thank you, Mark. Next question I will answer for this viewer. And the question is, has the property tax due date been extended? Yes, it has. Recently, the governor extended that due date to April 15th. And so please contact Scott Randolph, tax collector. If you have any further questions, you can reach them through their website, but also they're at 407-836-2700. That's 407-836-2700. Scott Randolph, the tax collector, if you have any questions about your property tax bill. Next question is for Mr. Singh. Mr. Singh, what role does the property appraiser play in my final tax bill?
So, Roger, that's a good question, and it's also a very popular question. The property appraiser is responsible for fairly and equitably assessing the assets of the county. And quite simply, it means that the property appraiser is responsible for valuing the individual assets of each individual owners out there. That value is cumulatively given to the municipalities or counties, and they're the ones that's responsible for applying their respected millage rate to that value, and they are the ones that's responsible for deriving a property taxation on that particular property. So the property appraiser's role in the taxing system is quite simply the entry level of the system by fairly and equitably assessing the assets of the county and valuation. We utilize acceptable appraisal methodology. The 3 approaches to value are cost approach, income approach, and sales comparison approach, as traditional appraisers apply. And we also apply those principles of the appraisal practice to valuation. So once again, we are responsible for valuing only.
We'll move on to the next question. And the next question is for you again, Mark. Mr. Singh said earlier in the presentation, when we all pay our fair share, we all pay less. I think my neighbor has a homestead on their property, and it appears as though they're renting it. What can you do to help me?
That's a very good question, and it is true. When we all pay our fair share, we all pay less. So we're very proud of our compliance investigative team. We have a very sophisticated process. We do encourage taxpayers, if you have information, you can report that on our website anonymously. We also have an exemption fraud hotline. That number is 407-836-5046. We ask that you give us as much information as you can. If you know of any individuals that are living in the property who are not eligible to receive the homestead exemption, if the property is being rented, anything you can give us would be great. Our investigators utilize in-house tools to conduct investigations. We canvass the county, we knock on doors, gather information. And if we do discover that someone is receiving a property-based tax exemption they're not eligible for, we will go ahead and start the process of denying them.
Great, thank you for that information, Mark. And to all our viewers, please remember that if you have questions that we weren't able to respond to live, you can see our email address there, customerservice@ocpafl.org, and feel free to send your questions in to us, and we'll get right back to you with an answer. So thank you for all the great questions that we've had. And to close this Money Saving Exemptions webinar, I'd like to bring back for some final comments your Orange County Property Appraiser, Rick Singh.
Thank you so much, Mark. Thank you so much, Mark and Roger, for doing a wonderful job in presenting this information. As many of you can testify, this information sometimes can be cumbersome, but they did an excellent job in presenting it in a very simplified manner that all of us can understand. I'd like to thank my amazing staff for putting this webinar together. This was not an easy undertaking. As you can imagine, we're all in different locations. Everybody's in their homes working remotely. So it was quite a balancing act to actually bring it to fruition. But hopefully it was well presented, and hopefully it was informative to all of you and beneficial to all of you. This is the first of many webinars to come. So we thank you again for joining us today, and we thank you in advance for joining us in the future. This webinar, if you have suggestions for webinars, we ask you to contact us by emailing or calling our office, and or just jot us in the tab below a suggestion for a webinar. We hope to bring this to you quite frequently. And again, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for joining us today. You had many options at your disposal, and we're very, very honored, privileged, and thankful to all of you for joining us. Again, we hope that these webinars were beneficial and informative and educational. So again, my name is Rick Singh. I am not just the Orange County Property Appraiser. I am your Orange County Property Appraiser, and I want to remind you to follow the CDC's guideline for the coronavirus, and please stay safe, protect yourselves, protect your loved ones, and stay safe. Just a note before I depart, we are working remotely, so our office continue to do the everyday tasks that we are mandated to do. So if you have questions, call the regular lines. Our staff is available to answer questions. If you need to contact us via email, they are available. And use our website as a resource. It's ocpafl.org, and you'll see a chat bot that pops up on the right-hand corner entitled Ask Rick. You could put in your questions there, and of course, staff is standing by to answer your questions. So with that, I say until the next webinar, my name is Rick Singh, not just the Orange County Property Appraiser, once again, your Orange County Property Appraiser. Stay safe. Thank you.